Hello everyone, Rare Model Reviews here, and today we have a pretty decent unboxing. So, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is going to be a P Bandai unboxing, so everything here, of course, is from P Bandai. So going straight on into we're going to do the little one first. And I'm not gonna lie, this thing was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, so this is going to take like 15 minutes to build. Well, this little accessory pack here. So as you can see, this is going to be the Exia repair. Basically, this is just going to be some parts that you add to the normal Exia to turn it into the repair. Otherwise, you would have to go and get the standard Exia itself, which I do have, of course, and slap these things on into it to build it. Now, this thing is way different than I think anything I've unboxed from Bandai so far. So everything here is, of course, in Japanese, and I did not expect this, but this isn't a typical box where you pull off the bottom half of it. Looks like you actually have to cut something open. I did not know that, so I did not get this done in advance. So hopefully I can get this with one hand. There we go. All right. So open this thing up. Make sure everything is out. That looks like everything. So we'll throw that to the side. So we have this silver broken blade here for the Exia. That's a signature weapon for the repair. We have this, dare I say, black, almost looks like olive green cloth, or two pieces of cloth that you use to cover up the Exia's damaged arm, as well as some whites, grays, and what have you for the damaged head. I'm going to assume you're going to still need the normal head. You're going to have to fit some pieces onto it. We will find out when I build this thing, but this won't take long at all, and it will put some pep in my step in building the standard Exia, which I can say I did not build yet, but I definitely will now. So, unfortunately, this is all in Japanese. I'm going to assume it's telling you to go grab the leg from the original Exia and then put these pieces on here instead. Same with this one. Or no, actually, looks like this is all stuff from the standard Exia is telling you to put on first. And I'm going to assume somewhere down the line, this menu is going to get to what from the repair here I'm going to be putting on. So they have my good old favorite, the stupid map instructions. So again, these just mirror each other for the legs. Then we get over here to the chest part here. And again, I'm still kind of struggling to see what the heck am I putting on from this thing, not the other thing. So this might be a bit of a doozy. Okay, there we go. So this part here, okay. Now I think I see, okay, yeah. So A12 and A13 are from this. They tell you to put those on. So yeah, you're definitely gonna have to build this thing in tandem with the standard Exia to understand what it's trying to explain to you here. Otherwise, the lack of English instructions are going to be a bit of a doozy for you. I don't know what to say here. I mean, there are Google Translates and whatnot. You can do it on your phone now, so that definitely help. I probably would do that to make sure I don't mess nothing up on this thing, because these real grades can be very delicate with how small they are. So if you mess something up here, yeah, these tiny parts, good luck gluing those back. So it looks like this little ball joint you use to put the cloaks on, which is good because that allows some articulation with it. Pull some nice pulses thanks to that. So it looks like you will be able to build. Nope, no. Yeah, you do need some parts from the normal one. So I can see this half looks like that's from the this half looks like it's from the standard Exia. Everything else is from this box here. Yeah, so you can see there right at this part, yeah, these are more parts from the standard Exia they want you to use. And the rest of it here, again, is from the repair. See at the GN sword, they want you to use some parts from the real grade itself, and then you add on the rest of this stuff here. Oh, okay, so those extra gray parts just for the blade. So some grays and silvers mixed into it. That make it really pop, I think. But yep, I believe that is going to be it. So I'm going to go ahead and stow this away. Put everything get on to the meat and the potatoes here that I'm struggling to grab with one hand. There we go. So these are 2 rather big boxes, so we'll see how fast I can get these done. Even that little box somehow took me about 5 minutes, but moving along. You can't tell what you're looking at. This is going to be the F80 Gun Raid. So this is from the Formula mangas that they're currently doing right now. This was made 2025. So this is brand new kit, P-Bandai exclusive, of course. So for those who do not know what the Gun Raid is, the Gun Raid is, as it says here, a mass-produced variant by the SNRI. So if you don't know what that means, it's literally a mass-produced version of the Gundam F90. Why they call it F80 when it's a master grade of the F90, which, you know, this kind of makes it sound like it came before the F80. The F90 is beyond me, but moving along, if I can get this thing out of the box. Almost done. There we go. All right, so with this being a mass-produced version of the F90, it's most likely going to use some parts from the master grade F90 itself. So, straight out of the box here, we have some water slide decals for, well, the decals you'll be able to put all over the suit itself. Some of that purplish grayish color that you see mostly on the F90 stuff. It's kind of a, looks a little like that off-white color. Makes it a numerous parts of the body. This looks like a bit of a mirror of the runners we just looked at. I could be wrong. We also have some stickers here, so this looks like it's going to be for the cameras, some of the scopes on our weapons and whatnot. We have 2 tiny blue beam sabers and some more grays. Now, some of these parts here look familiar. That looks like that's definitely from the F90. I recognize that back skirt armor. I have some parts here for the rifle. That looks like it might be the same exact rifle from the F90. I could be wrong. One way I'd know for sure is by building this thing. This part here definitely looks familiar. That's for the back of the foot. And again, more, it's a rare skirt armor. I guess they just duplicated some plates just to cut time and, dare I say, cost. So, more parts there. Looks more so for the legs / feet. And we got parts here that definitely is going to be for the weapons here. A lot of these parts are like for the rifle, shoulder cam, bazooka, whatever. More parts here for the bazooka, looks like. And we got some white parts here, red parts for the shield and the chest, and what have you. And that is going to be it. So now we have a nice colored image of the Gun Raid itself. So I'll admit, this is something I've seen on P-Bandai, and I'm like, whoa, this thing looks cool. What the heck is it? So I went ahead and did my research, and that's when I found out about the Gun Raid here. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to get this thing. This looks too cool for me to pass up on, even though I don't know anything about it. So one thing I can say from this image, though, is that Gun Raid can use some of the F90's mission packs. I mean, it wouldn't be much of an F90 if it couldn't. So if you notice here with this Gun Raid, it doesn't have the cannon on its back, and this one looks more vanilla. Now, one image I did see of the Gun Raid is that it was able to use one of the mission packs. I believe it was the, the guards type. If I'm not mistaken, that was the one with the sword and the thing on his shoulder to hold his sword or whatever. So I definitely want to see if it could put that pack on. That'd be awesome if it could. I also want to mention this beam bazooka looks like the exact same bazooka that Cluster has. I could be wrong. Oh yeah, a short beam rifle. I'm pretty sure you might be able to use the normal F90 beam rifle as well. We'll find out though. And it does look, it has those hard points on the legs look like the same as the F90s. I could be wrong. The one on the arms though looks like it's just simply for the shield, so you might not be able to do any hard points for the shield. And I can't tell from the shoulders about those hard points. Can't quite. I want to say that they can, but I don't know. Those just don't look quite like the F90s itself. But again, only way to find out what this thing can and can't do is by building it. So the chest here looks like it's the same as the F90 with this the monitor there. It just looks like it's probably not going to be clear like the F90s was. Again, just look at this construction itself. This does look pretty reminiscent to the F90, but a little bit different. Like this little cockpit hatch, I'm pretty sure that's different. A lot of this other stuff looks like something I've built already, at least twice over. So the head, of course, is going to be a completely different construction. And this is what for the arms. The arms does not look similar to me, so the arms are most likely going to be pretty different. This part here, okay, now this part of the arm here. This part looks just like the F90s, but everything else it looks different. Process, of course, putting armor over the inner frame. That looks pretty similar to the F90s, but everything else looks pretty different. Looking over here at the waist, looks like everything there is pretty unique. Even adding this back armor here. It looks like it does have the hard point you can use on the back of the skirt though, so there are going to be some mission packs you should be able to use that are compatible with that back attachment there. It looks like it also has that same gimmick for moving the front of the skirt, which is most likely to kind of hide the the action base attachment. Feet here definitely are very similar, at least the same with the overall interior completion of it, especially with this little mesh tubing and whatnot they love doing. This little foot guard there, that looks the same. Ankle guard here. So again, a lot of the stuff here is definitely from the F90, especially this here, the tubing you put over and you put inside the little joint there. I believe that's for like the back of the calf there, did I say? The leg construction doesn't quite look the same though as the F90. I could be wrong. It looks similar, but a little bit different. So just, of course, the finishing touches on the legs. That side armor looks pretty different. I'm debating on whether you'd be able to put a hard point into that. Again, the hard point looks a little different for that. Could be wrong. And it has this little piece here to cover over it, so I'm not sure if that's just to cover the hard point or if it's kind of a F90R type deal where once you cover it up, I mean, there's no reason to ever take it back off if you're not doing anything with it. So the backpack appears to be exactly the same as the F90s, except they have one piece here off because it's not supposed to have two beam sabers. I bet you this thing will probably have parts that put a second beam saber on, especially seeing as the images I've seen here. I mean, we can literally look at it now. This one has a beam saber on its left side. This one has a beam saber on its right side. So at the very least, you should be able to move that thing around to either side. Just like just anything to even cover it when you're not using it. So we're going to conclude this by looking at the weapons. So we, of course, have the short beam rifle, which is basically a beam spray gun. Looks like it also kind of uses the middle section of the F90's beam rifle, except you put different attachments on. I'm pretty sure I've seen the other attachments to make a straight up beam rifle, so we'll see about that. Here we have the triple machine gun cannon and then the beam bazooka. Have that backpack you'll be able to change out for this thing instead of the standard backpack we seen earlier. And it's of course showing you how to attach all this stuff. Okay, so it looks like the side skirt you'll be able to use to take off and then add the ammo to it. So yeah, that makes me think that the side skirts are more so for ammo rather than the mission packs. So of course they're explaining you how to take off the beam saber and use them. And it looks like that you could switch them around or something. I could be wrong. Yep, like I thought that gimmick here is for the action base. Okay, there we go. All right. So what it looks like is there's an extra piece you take off, then that reveals the normal hard points. Yep, just like I said, you have the guards type you can put on, and then the D type, that's what's destroyed. Okay, so at the very least, you should be able to use the D and G types for this thing. Whether you'll be able to use any other ones is beyond me, but yeah, this is just telling you that these are from the G type. It's not necessarily you can only use the G and D type. But then this is of course displaying you how to put on the O and the U type, which ironically I almost got the O and U type, even though I don't like the U, I only like the O. So what do we have here? Yeah, it's just really just trying to explain to you how to use some of these. Okay, I do have the J and the Q. All right, so maybe there is a lot more opportunities to use mission packs, I think. Yep, and I got the F and M. I just never built those yet. So that's definitely gonna be something to look forward to when I build this thing and eventually review it. It's kind of going around seeing what mission packs we could put onto this thing. So I definitely need to get my whole editing software figured out for when that day comes, because yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to review all of that without editing. That's going to be way too much fluff in the video. Geez, I can't even say necessarily time consuming. It just wouldn't work. So last but not least, you may or may not be able to guess what this last kit is, but I'll give you a hint. It's related to one of the things I just unboxed. And if you couldn't guess what it is, I can't say I didn't name drop it, that is going to be the cluster. So this is one that I teased about a while ago in unboxing. I mentioned I thought it was in the box, but apparently I forgot to order it. I don't know how, so I ended up having to reorder it later. So that's going to be Cluster Gundam. For those who do not know what the Cluster Gundam is, this is Anaheim's, dare I say, knockoff of the F90, hence why it's the 3 in there, which they don't have a right to say. You can't call it the F93. SNRI made the other F90s. But yeah, basically Anaheim, after they got kicked to the curb because the Federation was sick of them making suits for both sides, they decided to steal the data from the F90, because if I'm not mistaken, even though the SNRI designed it, Anaheim still produced suits for the Federation, so they used the data, of course, they had from producing it, and then they made an F90 of their own in an effort to kind of say, hey, look at these awesome mobile suits we could develop and make for you. Come on, come back. We promise we won't make any suits for the bad guys again. So it's really just the F90, but as you can see here, it has a core fighter component to it. It can even use mission packs, as you can see here, with it mentioning hard points and showing off, of course, the F90A to Z project thing here and everything. So I think this thing might come with a mission pack on its own. I could be wrong, but as far as I can tell, you should be able to use literally every mission pack with this thing. So just as I mentioned with the gun raid, with those bazookas looking eerily similar to these things. I'm not sure if it's the exact same bazooka, but it's at least reminiscent of it, I can say that much. So we have some mustard yellow parts here for the V-fins. I don't quite think this is a sky blue, but there's a very nice looking blue, I can say that much. We have some parts here that look like this is going to be for the beam rifle. More of that blue for the foot. Some whites here for various things, legs, looks like weapons. Some more grays for the rifle. I think this thing's gonna have its own unique rifle too. I could be wrong. Maybe it just reuses the F90 rifle. Peeking there in the back, we have some water slide decals you can put on. Some green beam sabers. I love my F kits with green beam sabers. Blues are cool too. You don't see blue too much. Something about the green just really sticks out to me. More of that mustard yellow for who knows what. Or just parts around the kit. This is just going to be some components for the hands and the core fighter. Parts for the feet here. These look very similar to the gun raid. So of course, this being a P-Bandai kit, I'm going to assume there's going to be some parts it uses from the F90. Again, look at that last one. Those definitely some parts for the F90 standard beam rifle. This thing has a lot of little tiny stickers you'll be able to put all around the kit. Some reds here for most likely a cockpit, some leg components. I'm already looking at this here. You can see it. My thumb is pointing. That looks like that's definitely the same foot construction from the F90. So again, now you get why this is a P-Bandai. I have a P-Bandai kit. It's definitely uses some parts over from the F90. And then this looks almost like a mirror image of one things we've seen earlier. We've got some clear green parts for the shield. So this thing has a very interesting shield construction. It looks like you put the beam effect on multiple parts, and then there's a clear green part for the cockpit as well. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that fits together. And you can even see from this image here of why they split up the shield effect there. Speaking of which, I don't think I've seen any image of this thing with the shield not lit up. So I am very curious to see what that looks like. I'm going to try to neatly throw this stuff back in here for later. So it all comes back on properly. There we go. Push that to the side. Let's have a look at this menu. If I didn't mention it before, this is actually a 2024 kit. I believe this came out like this December-ish. What was it? Gunray, literally. I'm pretty sure this is his first print. I could be wrong. So quite a lot of runners here if you didn't get that from before. And also, I didn't mention this with the F80. I'm going to look at it now. There's quite a few parts that are X'd out. So yeah, definitely reusing some parts there. If that's the case. I can't quite tell from this image of what stuff would look like it was from the beam rifle. And I think from here, though, that looks like that's the back skirt armor and stuff. And I think this might be from the shield. So I definitely will want to look at this thing when I'm done building it, set the gun rate, and see what I can scrounge up and build into a separate thing or whatever. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the beam rifle. I don't know if you'd be able to build a shield from this or the gun rate. I didn't see any parts that looked like it was from the shield enough to make a separate shield. So this, of course, is showing you how to build the core fighter first. That's usually what they do if anything has a core fighter. It has landing gear. Then there's the core booster, which is actually pretty cool. So it looks like the thing for this, the backpack, is the core booster. So somehow the core fighter and the chest and the backpack combined or whatever. So that's pretty cool if that is the case. And then we get on into the chest. So of course, with this thing having a core fighter, the chest is going to be very different from all the other F90/80 stuff we've seen. And the head unit, which of course is a brand new head. Looks like there's any parts with the F90. Where you seen this stick with these arms, same arms, but everything that goes around it looks different. This part here itself looks like it's going to be a bit more reminiscent to the actual F90 rather than Gunray. You just look at it, these arms look basically the same as the F90s. Just look at it, I feel like I could probably build this thing without even looking at the menu. Then we have the shoulders here. So this is a step I missed with the Gunray, but yeah, this is the standard F90 shoulder type construction. And then we have these extra parts you put on top, which differentiates it, but you'll be able to pull off that part to reveal those hard points there. So very cool. Actually helps make it look a bit more of its own thing rather than yet another, dare I say, knockoff of the F90. So again, yeah, that little movable gimmick here. So this definitely is to hide the action-based attachment. We've seen that earlier when we were looking around the box. So that's going to be for the hard points. So there's a rear armor. It looks like it's constructed different from the F90s and dare I say the 80s as well, but it still has the similar construction in the sense that, you know, it's compatible with the mission packs. So same shtick there at the feet. These first two steps are unique, but then the stuff at the bottom here is basically the F90s with only the bottom of the feet there really being different. Same principle here. You have that foot guard. It looks different, but it's still basically the same as the F90s. Even with the whole exposed vents for the feet. You have the guards that you put around the ankles there. Looks a little bit different than what we've seen for the Gunray F90s, but again, same shtick. I don't think I've seen the piece for the mesh tube on the back of the leg there, so it looks like this tubing is only for that foot part. Have some more hard points. This again looks more F90 related. This is almost like the exact same part you'd put onto the F90 itself. And we just finish up the construction. The same process of the little connector part for the waist there. The side skirts look almost identical to the F90s, to the point that I think those literally are. So you definitely should be able to use any hard points for the side skirts there. Again, as you can see there, for the action-based attachment gimmick there. And then this is showing, okay, yep, as I thought you can have the core booster attached to the F90, or should I say cluster, and then attached into the back. And of course, it's showing how to open a cockpit. And be a very complicated little gimmick there for such a little kit, because the cluster, much like everything from this time period that you see, the late 100s, or mid to the 100s or so, the suits got super small to the point that these massacres are like the size of a high grade. So we of course have the rifle, which looks very F91-esque, the beam bazooka, which are a little shorter than a standard bazooka. So this thing has two of them, as you can see, the ×2 and all the steps there. And we have the beam shield, which I really want to see how it looks like. Just attach this thing up to this thing's arm without being lit up. Of course, the piece is showing that you can put these things on the hard points as well as in the hands, of course. It looks like you also put these things on a hip, which is pretty cool, because it looks like you'd be able to kind of use it kind of like the F91's Vespers. So again, we have the process of putting this thing in the arm, and with the beam shield attached to it and what have you. And it looks like you can also fold it up to collapse a little bit when you have it on this arm, which looks very cool. The beam sabers, which are on its backpack. Now, one thing I could definitely say I love about this thing is it kind of reminds me of the Stamen, you know, the Gundam Unit 3 from 0083. I like the whole backpack it has and whatnot. Or dare I say, actually, the whatchamacallit too. Unit 1, the Zephyr, yeah, you know what I mean. Those things both kind of had those backpacks with the core fighters. The Unit 1 had it covered up with a little piece or whatever, but it especially with the Massacre, building the Massacre, you'd be able to see that like there's the collapsible wings in there, whereas this thing is not too collapsed. It's just kind of on its back. Oh, okay, this thing is saying that you could also use the standard F90's backpack for this thing as well. I wonder how that would work with this thing having a core fighter, though. That's interesting. I'm going to guess something must cover up the core fighter itself then. And of course, I'll show that this is the A and L you can attach to it, which I do have. I just didn't build it yet. Then it's just showing a bunch of different random mission packs you can combine with this thing to get them to work. So this is the Vesper pack here, which I can't say I just built, but this is the most recent pack I built. So I literally have this thing showed off on my shelf right now with one of my other F90s. So again, very cool. I love the color scheme of this thing. Just overall love the look of it. It's very cool. It's just too bad those scumbags at Anaheim built it, but I mean, the Gundam itself is innocent. You can't blame it for its exception. So that is going to do it for this unboxing. Not bad. Clocking in at around 30 minutes. So I am definitely looking forward to building these guys. I'll probably do the gun raid first before the cluster. And I'm literally going to build this Exia right now. Want to know how serious I am? I fished this guy out from my pile that literally I'm reviewing over. So I'm going to definitely be building these things today, since I have some time off today. And we'll see if I can manage to build this entire thing in one day, or if I start getting worn out from building, getting stopped. But regardless, we're going to make some progress on this thing. It sucks because I was actually starting to build or at least I was planning on building the Rei Zaku Warrior, but I have everything laid out on my desk, but I didn't actually start building yet because I had a busy couple of weeks. But I guess Rei's going to have to take a back seat to Setsuna here. But thank you guys all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you know exactly what to do. And I will see you in the next video, and hopefully review.